Hey! So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for the support. We already hit 100 subs, and while I know it doesn't seem like a lot for most people, it does mean a lot to me, so thank you so much for subscribing, and I'm really glad you're liking the content. So, Need for Speed. I grew up playing these games, mainly Most Wanted and Underground. It used to be one of EA's biggest franchises, and even though they don't seem to care that much about it these days, it is still going pretty strong, with a new game to be released later this year. But it wasn't always like this. After Black Box developed Carbon, they believed car culture was moving in a different way, with the racing of the cars becoming less and less extravagant. So they decided to go in a different style of game, leaving behind the open world street racing and focusing on league on track races. However, critics ended up giving it mixed reviews, saying the game misses most of the features that made its predecessors interesting. Probably meaning no open world street racing, which is understandable. I also didn't like Pro Street at the time. So a year later, EA CEO John Ricciello, Well, John said that Pro Street was only an okay game and was not good, and that Undercover would be a much better game. The game is still one of my least favorites on the franchise, but the weird thing is they still ported the game to the PS2 in 2008, 3 whole years after the Xbox 360 was released. So you might be wondering, well, how did they do that? And, well, they didn't. When you first boot up the game, you're greeted with a cutscene of yourself outrunning the police, so you're like, hey, back to the streets, this might be good, and why is this Most Wanted? So yeah, this is how they did it. Instead of making an actual decent port of the game, they just got Most Wanted and deleted the handling of the cars. But you know what? Okay, I'll give it a fair chance. Starting from the graphics, this is one of the ugliest PS2 games I've ever played. Not even joking, you see everything popping up literally all the time in this game. Cars appearing out of nowhere, the map loading right in front of you, and the color correction is completely off. So when you try to paint a car black, it looks like this. And it's just wow, you can see how careless they were with this game. The PS2 and the Wii version were developed by Axion Entertainment, who before this only developed mobile games and handheld ports. And oh, it shows. It definitely seems like a mobile game, I can tell you that. The car models don't look too bad, but that's because they mostly use car models from older games. Thank God. Animations can look completely broken sometimes. They added some new preset breakers, but when you hit them, sometimes they just disappear. Notice how I said some new? Well, guess where the old ones come from? Most Wanted. Why? Because they used the map from that game. Some places are mirrored, some places are just a copy and paste, and they added some long highways between areas to make it try to look like the map from Undercover. But it ended looking worse than the original, and it might be even smaller. I've tried making some okay looking cars, but trying to make a good wrap in this game is as painful as it can get. Like, this is me trying to change the size of a vinyl. The frame rate drops to -12 every time you try to do anything in the car. It's actually impressive how they managed that. Now, here we get to the part where I cannot get over. From Underground to Carbon, Need for Speed had its best gameplay in my humble and only mattering opinion. But they decided to go with something that's supposed to resemble Undercover in the newer generation. So they stripped most of the Most Wanted gameplay from it and completely screwed it up. You can make the wildest turns at 400 km/h. Cars feel extremely lightweight and more like a Hot Wheels game than a Need for Speed game. The brake is barely functional and you have to rely on the handbrake, which makes you drift. A lot. And I cannot tell you for sure because I played this game on an emulator, but wow. This game lags like hell. Frame drops are constantly happening, and I wish I had a PS2 so I could try it and talk about it more, but just so you know, I had to use an option that makes the system run at 300% faster, so it wouldn't do that as much. Racing this time around consists of the basics like circuit, sprint, and time trials, but they also added lap knockout and highway battles. They also ask you to destroy some of the cars in this game, and it just shows how amazing the AI is. If you played a lot of older Need for Speed games, mainly Underground, you know how crazy the rubber banding is in that game. This one just turns it up to another level. Cars fly into your direction whenever you get too far. The easiest way to notice it is by playing highway battles. I mean, just look at this. If you watch Kuru by any chance, you know how the story goes in this game.
Of smuggling, extortion, and murder. Very dangerous. We've been doing our...
You play as an undercover cop along with another cop called Chase, trying to take down a car smuggling group, and for that you do street races to gain their trust and join them, besides costing the state millions of dollars. You're assigned to steal cars for them after the races, and after completing the jobs, Chase tells you to arrest them. After you take out the first gang, you're recruited to join another gang. You do the same thing, but after arresting them, you can't find where the stolen car is. Well, TLDR, Chase was actually working with the last gang. She kills the leader and tries to frame you. You go after Chase, break her car, or just let her break herself, and this is what happens.
So this is what Cha Wu was trying to smuggle out of the country. Chase Lin was willing to kill for.
And that's it for the story. The music in this game is weird. It's a mixture of Pro Street songs and some new ones, including Like Knives, instrumental, Diamond Life, instrumental, and The Tempest, instrumental. Usually every Need for Speed game has a defining song right in its menu. You throw in the game, you press start, and you're blasted with whatever banger you were blessed with. However, in this game, car sounds are just copy and pasted from Most Wanted and apparently Carbon. Some cars just have the same sound, so you know they put a lot of care into it. The same goes for sound effects. The menus are just ripped from Carbon, which is weird. The other versions of it had new sound effects, so I have no idea why they didn't use them instead of the old ones. I mean, if they didn't even care about this game, which is obvious at this point, wouldn't it be easier to just rip whatever sounds the main devs made? Unless these were already in the game. Oh, they also got Donald Trump to act in this game.
Let's go, take him down, take him down. I got no visual. I don't see him. 1023 at last known location. Let's cancel that VCB. He's right here. I got him. I got him.
Also, the reason this is on the weird nostalgia category is because I did get this game when I was younger. This was my first introduction to Undercover. And even at the time when I didn't really care about how bad games were, I couldn't bring myself to play this one for very long. I remember trying to convince my friend to play split screen with me, and unsurprisingly, no one was down to it. But I remember checking it out and this game having a game mode where one plays as the cop and the other one as the racer, and you just go around trying to break their car, and that's it. But again, I hope you didn't get scammed by EA like I did at the time. It's actually crazy to think that this game was passable. Just imagine if this happened today. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, please leave a like. And feel free to leave a comment, I usually reply to all of them. Oh, and thanks again for the support you guys gave me on the last video. I really did not expect that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Very dangerous.